we should get into that. Is for further fallout from Trump's conviction. And I guess like the only thing that I really have to say about this is that it's produced some very funny reactions from everyone who's been talking about what a threat Donald Trump is to democracy. Because I'm thinking specifically of our good friend Jonathan Chait, who writes that, the headline here, Trump's conviction, the case for a misgiving, forbearance versus the rule of law. And he writes, almost 4 years ago, anticipating the flood of legal troubles that would await Donald Trump after he left office, I wrote a feature story for the magazine that wrestled with the dilemma of prosecuting a former president. In assessing the merits of the criminal case against Trump, I never thought the Manhattan prosecution cleared the bar. The case isn't legitimate. It is simply, in my opinion, too marginal a violation to be balanced against the social and political costs it raises. So to that, I say, Jonathan, you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And I guess I'm just astonished by these people, like their inability to enjoy their own fantasies, like saying that, like, oh, I want Donald Trump put in prison, or I want him locked up, or I want him prosecuted, and then he is prosecuted and convicted of 34 felonies, and you're like, no, not like that. It's like the equivalent of having a dream where you can fly and you're flying to Pussy Mountain. Now, in the dream logic, Pussy Mountain
it's blurred out like in Japan.
That's why you need your flight instruments.
In my dream logic here, Pussy Mountain is the place that awaits you where every crush you've ever had is just begging to have sex with you. So like you have a dream where you're flying to Pussy Mountain and you're like, no thanks, I'd rather walk. It's more appropriate. And I guess I just like to contrast that with, God bless them, the wine moms and resistance dads who are having a fucking, this is like VJ day for them. They're all doing the Peter Fonda style quotes about what they hope awaits Donald Trump in prison.
Jeff Tiedrich, I heard that he got Rihanna pregnant this week.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was through the air. They weren't even in the same room. She just got it tested and it was his baby. It was crazy. Yeah, it's weird how they don't hold any other DAs to that standard. Like people run on that shit all the time. Like we're gonna round up the criminals and then everybody cheers. We're going to start prosecuting more drug dealers and drug addicts and homeless people. And people just get elected off that. They say, we're going to lock up all these poor people and we're going to just be cruel to them for your enjoyment. And that's why you should vote for me. That's just how it works. But when they do it with Donald Trump, it's a breach of norms.
Well, you know, and like, I think like
it's too popular to prosecute him for this crime that he did. It's too much red meat. We shouldn't do it because people want him to get in trouble so bad, so we shouldn't do it.
Well, that's what he means about like the social and political fallout. He's like, oh, this might make our opponents, the people who I hate, they might make them too angry in time for the election. And
they might threaten to like put Democrats in jail, which like they've never done before, and it would be really bad if they actually did that.
Yeah, just like, it would really suck if they put like Bob Menendez and Henry Cuellar. Well, all those shitheads, all the easy guys you could go after. It would suck if they went after them.
What if they went after Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, though? Two people who have never committed crimes. Yeah, what if they went after Nancy?
Hunter?
Yeah, he's going to prison.
That's the funny thing. They say, like, what about Hunter? Why wouldn't they prosecute Hunter? They are. You scroll down in the news. It's right there.
He's facing a federal gun charge, and like Trump's falsifying business felonies. I think like the people are right to say that, like, were they not the president's son and the president, they probably never would be prosecuted for this. But that comes with the territory. I mean, they are still felonies. Like, so if you don't like, I mean, when you become president, you are under a bit more of a microscope, including the felonies you may have done in the past.
Yeah. Same thing with celebrities. Before he was president, too. If he did some high profile crime, the DA and the news and everybody would give him special treatment. They would go after him a little more because he's famous. Like when a celebrity gets pulled over for a DUI, like Paul Pelosi.
Yeah.
If he wasn't that guy, no one would ever know about it.
I guess I'm just like, because like, obviously, like, I think like they've been leaning very heavily on how this might affect the public perception of Trump. Like, will people vote for a convicted felon? But I got to say, I have been astonished at how like little I've heard from anyone in the Democratic Party that's like touting this. It seems like they're all embarrassed by it, or they don't want to talk about it, or they just think that the news will be enough. Like, where's the big press conference about our convicted felon ex-president?
I think they want to seem impartial.
I think they psych themselves
They're
out.
They're running in a presidential election against this guy. You can't be impartial when you're trying to defeat him.
They don't want to make the prosecution look too partisan by cheering, like doing a touchdown dance while it's going on, I think, is their thinking.
I think it's kind of like they didn't really expect for this to be the case. that won. It was kind of the weakest case, and it was the one that the least amount of people gave a shit about. And it is like if you're a Democrat, this is unambiguously good for Biden's reelection chances, right? Like everyone likes pointing out that his base will vote for him no matter what. Well, I mean, you need more than that for a presidential election. I think they've kind of they've psyched themselves out into they've sort of convinced themselves that it just doesn't mean anything after so many years of this. And they're instead focusing on better things like Biden signing Trump's entire border policy.
I was gonna say, you'd think the week of where the Manhattan DA delivered to them probably since the Dobbs decision, the best thing that could possibly happen for the Democrats in this election cycle is 34 felony convictions for Donald Trump. And instead, he has a press conference about reminding everyone about some deal to be made for hostages in Israel, which, way to put the focus back on a real winning issue for Biden, and then coming out with, as Biden's wins describes it, another win for Biden. Biden will sign an executive order that will allow the U.S. government to deny asylum and deport immigrants who cross the border illegally. Reminder: Republicans voted against the toughest border security legislation in decades.
Yeah, the entire thing with the border security package has been kind of fucking baffling. I mean, you always eventually see Democrats tack hard to the right on immigration, but usually it isn't 3 years removed or 4 years removed from Biden cutting ads specifically against this type of thing. I mean, it just do you think people won't remember?
Well, I mean, I guess they have polling that shows that immigration is on in the forefront of voters' minds. So he's just going to give them the Stephen Miller immigration policy, and then he's going to be oh, I mean, this is the thing they love to do, where they introduce Republican legislation, and then when the Republicans won't vote for it, they're see, they don't want to govern bipartisanly, but it's just they're doing their job for them. On the other side, though, I have been enjoying a lot of the reactions from the Trump's fan base, who are really salty about this, all these convictions.